Continuing from the previous episode 2290. In front is the Storm Mountains. This is the place where the Phoenix Stone is most likely to exist. Let's go here and have a look first. The three of them gritted their teeth and marched to the end of the plain in the strong wind. Seeing the towering peaks in front of them, a dazed breath emerged in their hearts. Most likely? Xiao Yan took Zuner's palm and looked up. The mountains in front of him were filled with an aura of awe. It seemed that there were many tyrannical creatures inhabiting them, and it was daunting from a distance. The wasteland. The ravines are rugged. The icebergs and snow. Is this ancient tree in the sky a treasure, or a place guarding the entrance of the Phoenix family? Why does it have such a strange climate area? Looking around, there were glaciers and mountains in front of him. Looking at this huge territory standing above the ancient trees, Xiao Yan felt at a loss and doubts. Feng Qian, where is the least likely place for the Phoenix Stone to exist? After a while, Zuner's reincarnation seal exuded a gentle touch, so she came up with a whim. It's the snow-capped peak behind us. But this is the most dangerous place. Feng Qian was a little puzzled. She didn't know why Zuner asked, but she didn't say much because of the existence of divine weapons and holy flames on her body. Zuner, have you found anything? Xiao Yan asked in a low voice. There are so many peaks in front of him. If you take the wrong path, it will take a lot of time, and the atmosphere is full of things that Xiao has never heard of. This is the most strange thing. Senior five-legged golden crow's memory is vague, and the fluctuations emanating from the seal of samsara are also somewhat obscure, but there seems to be a voice guidance in the seal of samsara. It should be right here. Zuner raised her head and looked at the land of ice and snow in the distance, a faint voice calling to her from the back of her mind. Then go to the ice and snow mountain first. Xiao Yan said in a deep voice, but when his eyes glanced over this huge ice and snow mountain, the glazed holy flame in his body also throbbed. Like cheers, but also like fiery. Shush. With a sound, the three of them turned into a stream of light and stepped directly into the ice-snow mountain peak. The void here is as pure as day all day long. Ice and snow are rampant in the glacier mountain range. Snow-capped snowflakes fall at random. There are traces of strange white mist emerging between the fall, which fills the entire mountain with an icy coldness. A bone-chilling chill. In this land of ice and snow, even the blood flow in the body has become extremely slow, not to mention the operation of the power of reincarnation in the body, which is also greatly restricted. There are no human beings in the ice and snow peaks, and this is also one of the few forbidden places in the entire Tianfeng territory. Because this kind of place has two terrifying restrictions on our power, no creature has ever stepped into this place rashly since ancient times. There used to be elders in our clan who came here to find out, but ended up in a bleak end. In front of Feng Qian, the energy Feng Ying crawls to protect the three, reducing the huge cold power for them. Breakthrough. In an instant, an extremely crisp cry rang out in the world of ice and snow. The sound of the cry was extremely strange, and it was impossible to tell which direction it came from, or what kind of creature it was making. It was just at the moment when the sound fell, the wind and snow in the whole world suddenly became denser, Xiao Yan and the others. His body and feet were covered with layers of thick white ice and snow. We must speed up and get through here. Step into the center of the snow-capped peak and have a look. If it doesn't work, then evacuate here. Xiao Yan shook his head. His keen soul power made Xiao Yan clearly discover some clues. Even if he used the holy flame to resist this cold power, it had no effect on this cold power. The latter still penetrated into the body a little bit, so that their body temperature and skin began to slow down. Slowly become solidified. With this level of yin and cold power, even the holy flame is helpless? In the same way, with Xiao Yan's power, he was surprised to find that after using Fenju's power, he couldn't absorb the energy of heaven and earth here. It seems that this gloomy cold air is slowly spreading, slowly swallowing all the creatures that step into the ice and snow peaks. The combination of white snow and howling hurricanes made the three of them look extremely heavy. If they stayed here for a long time, I'm afraid they would turn into a real frozen bone sooner or later. Brother Xiao Yan, it's impossible. It goes on like this. After walking for an unknown distance, everyone's consciousness began to become blurred little by little, and the cold feeling was transmitted, and there were bursts of ice threads on the hands and feet. Damn. Go back. Xiao Yan's situation was not very good at this time, and the situation here far exceeded their estimates. Wait a minute. There seems to be a familiar atmosphere here. Bang bang bang. When the three of them turned around and left, the artifact bracelet under Kaoru's hand buzzed, and the five-legged golden crow stepped on the golden flame and appeared. Just appeared. Even with its strength, he could smell a long-lost cold, but the huge beast was staring at the deep ice and snow world ahead. In the world of ice and snow, the deeper you go, the more oppressive and cold you feel. Bang bang bang. The five-legged golden crow spewed out, and the golden flame pierced the sky and bloomed in this ice and snow world, but it was completely annihilated without bringing up such a huge momentum along the way. Brother Xiaoyan, what do you think that is? Following the action of the five-legged golden crow, Zuner followed the sensing of the divine weapon, suddenly raised her finger and pointed to a huge ice mark that appeared not far in front of her due to the attack of the five-legged golden crow. The shape of the ice marks is extremely unique. There is a white snow pattern that is incompatible with the world of ice and snow, and if you look closely, it seems to be a bit like a palace pillar in the human world. The shape of these ice marks is very strange. Could it be? Feng Qian stared with both eyes, and with the help of the map in her hand, her beautiful eyes shrank slightly, and then she stared at the void above the ice marks. After a while, the huge ice marks were like cracks in the world of ice and snow. With a huge opening, countless ice and snow began to surge, and even the void below the ice marks became distorted. A snowy creature slowly appeared in their sight. After it appeared, everyone's breathing became extraordinarily dignified. It seems that there is an extremely cold power that begins to be transmitted from the bottom of the ice mark. Is this a human? Or what creature? Xiao Yan's breathing became quicker, but his soul power was unable to penetrate the cover of these blizzards. He could only vaguely see the creatures under the ice marks, which sometimes turned into human appearances, and sometimes turned into white giants. Waiting for the figure to turn out to be similar to Phoenix? This is Ice Phoenix? That's a mourner? Just when Xiao Yan and the three were struggling, the five-legged golden crow beside him lost his voice. Everyone resisted the blizzard, and with the help of their peripheral vision, there was a huge creature in the ice and snow world that collapsed under the ice mark. On its back, there seemed to be a lonely figure standing proudly. Under the blessing of the two, that kind of power is enough to truly prestige this world. Please remember the first domain name of this book. Mobile version update fastest URL. Continuing from the previous episode 2291. In the world of ice and snow, the snow is covered with white snow, and the endless power of ice spreads. A little carelessness may completely turn into ice sculptures and stay here forever. Due to this world of ice and snow, everyone's vision became extremely blurred, but under the ice mark in the distance, a huge multicolored beast was standing on the snow. The five-legged golden crow has a fight. Its snow-white fluff gently stirred, and strands of pure white light flashed with terrifying icy power. Breakthrough. Zhaofeng? Beneath the ice marks, a figure whose skin was as white as ice and snow opened her mouth slightly, looking at the phoenix of ice and snow standing in front of her. Someone is coming? The phoenix of ice and snow kept screaming, and her voice and sight were projected directly at the place where Xiao Yan and the three were. Go and see. As soon as the voice fell, the huge ice and snow phoenix's wings stretched out, causing countless blizzards in this ice and snow world, extremely fierce. Hoo hoo hoo! The harsh blizzard whistled, approaching the position of Xiao Yan and the three of them. The cold current filled the air, and even the air was enough to freeze. Be careful, there are powerful creatures approaching here. The five-legged golden crow held his breath, and then the golden flames all over his body slowly burned. The cold hurricane contained extremely terrifying destructive fluctuations. The power of the combination of destruction and cold, whether it was Xiao Yan or Zuner, instantly increased the pressure. Get out! A faint voice appeared, and it suddenly swept away from the blizzard like a touch of chill, and the power of the soul spread out to the depths of everyone's body. The mourners of Snow Mountain. Bingfeng. At this moment, the five-legged golden crow raised his proud head, and a golden flame that never went out was reflected in his eyes, and he was not afraid. Mourners? Feng Qian's expression was solemn, and with some difficulty she looked at the mysterious figure looming in front of her, hiding in the blizzard. Mourners? A powerhouse with the ice attribute? The power of reincarnation in Xiao Yan's body and the holy flame revolved together, barely forming an energy shackle to protect the three bodies, and raised their heads at the same time. The snow-white ice crystal phoenix was crawling in this blizzard, its wings wriggling, and in front of it stood a girl with a cold face. "Mourner, why are you able to drive Bingfeng?" The five-legged golden crow snorted coldly, and the majestic power spread out, and with the blessing of Zunar's Samsara Yin Shengen's power, it actually caused everyone's body to recover some temperature. Humph! A cold snort sounded, and immediately the huge ice phoenix spread its wings. The terrifying power of ice swept down from the sky, and charged directly at the five-legged golden crow in the next moment. Fire! Although the five-legged golden crow had some guesses in his heart, in the face of such a terrifying attack, he could only grit his teeth and resist. Crack! The sound of ice and snow crystals shattering and the buzzing sound of flames coming into contact with ice and snow sounded, and the power of ice gushing out of Bingfeng actually caused the power exerted by the five-legged golden crow to be instantly annihilated. Immortal golden body. Xiao Yan hurriedly displayed a huge flame figure to stop the blizzard that was blowing in his face, and the pressure on the three of them was greatly reduced. Boom! The white ice and snow, which seemed to be powerless, came into contact with the immortal golden body displayed by Xiao Yan, and layers of white mist filled the air, which contained a violent wave of destruction. Golden body, break it to me! Xiao Yan exerted all of his strength to the extreme, and the ice and snow that rushed towards him were slowly shattered into a bubble, but at this time Xiao Yan's aura also became chaotic. The strength can be said to be greatly reduced. Wait, this guy seems to be a bit like the legendary guardian of the snow-capped mountains. Look! It wasn't until Xiao Yan's immortal golden body protected everyone that Feng Qian raised her head, looking extremely surprised. Looking up, without the cover of the fierce snowstorm, the huge ice phoenix and the figure were slowly intertwined in front of them. The girl has a graceful figure, her muscles are like snow, her slender white hair hangs down, and her deep eyes are filled with a hint of contempt. The most striking thing is her skin. Above her arms they are all snow-white grotesque ice patterns. In the ice pattern, there seems to be a terrifying cold power that is not lost to the power of holy flame. Brother Xiao Yan. Immediately, the reincarnation mark on Zunar's eyebrows suddenly shone brightly, and then she raised her finger and pointed at the snow girl's chest. On the chest of the snow maiden, there is a pendant of pure white ice and snow worn on the jade neck, and there is not much decoration on the pendant. A strange stone the size of a longan is carved into it. The stone is like the most common stone. Its shape is extremely irregular, similar to an ellipse, but there is a swirl of 5 colors slowly flowing on it. Mind, Phoenix Stone? Xiao Yan couldn't help losing his voice. He, the identity of the mourner is really terrifying. However, this ice phoenix belongs to the phoenix family. You are a little immoral, little baby. Fire! The five-legged golden crow sneered, the flames rose up around the body, and the majestic and vast golden flames poured out from the center of Zunar's eyebrows, and finally all poured into its body. With the influx of holy flames in the seal of reincarnation, the golden flames around the five-legged golden crow became more and more solid, and there were faintly countless golden patterns emerging. Crush into the snow-capped mountains and die. Young Master Bingxuey's eyes locked on the five-legged golden crow, and the ice phoenix behind him also hummed slowly, and a crisp phoenix roar resounded through this ice and snow world rumbling. The two banged against each other, and the void in the entire ice and snow world became solidified at this time. The ice and snow falling in the sky suddenly stopped flowing. The endless cold current and a golden flame were particularly conspicuous in this world. Bingfeng, but the guardian of the ancient tree in the sky, what the asterisk is going on with this girl? And why does she have the phoenix stone? Looking at the tense battle in the sky, Feng Qian felt uncomfortable. Ice attribute mourner. The ice attribute in this guy's body is so terrifying. Zunar also gritted her teeth with some difficulty. Whether it was ice phoenix or ice snow maiden, the pressure they gave her was unprecedentedly strong. Zunar, you stay here, and I'll help Senior Five-Legged Golden Crow. After Xiao Yan finished speaking, the power of his soul turned into a layer of energy shackles to protect himself from the power of ice and snow, and his body trembled and poured into that layer of ice palace. In the distance, the battle between the five-legged golden crow and the snow maiden and the ice phoenix spread from the land of ice and snow to the huge underground palace under the huge ice marks. When the two fought, the whole world became darkened, the terrifying energy fluctuations continued to overflow, and the endless power of ice and snow began to melt and condense. The scene was once appalling. Please remember the first domain name of this book. Mobile version update fastest URL. Continuing from the previous episode 2292. Ice Palace. After Xiaoyan's body swept into the battlefield, he did not catch up with the five-legged golden crow and Bingfeng's battle, because his strength was limited in the world of ice and snow, but he came to the huge ice palace under the ice marks very cleverly. The ice palace is majestic and dignified, with wisps of white mist constantly lingering here. It is extraordinarily mysterious. At first glance, it makes his entire body tremble. Obviously, this white mist is the exclusive power of the mourners. The mourners who can make Xiaoyan, who is carrying the holy flame, have such terrifying fluctuations, are really terrifying. Strangeness. This ice phoenix, the girl wearing the phoenix stone, and the mysterious ice palace in front of you? Are they responsible for guarding this place? Xiaoyan was always alert to the movement around him, and walked towards the door of the ice palace little by little. The ice palace was even colder than Xiaoyan had expected, and although it was colorless and transparent, because of the mysterious mist, it was impossible to probe the inside. Boom! Just as Xiaoyan was moving, a strong bombardment came out from the thick layer of snow above the ice palace. Suddenly, layers of snow-colored crystal blocks tilted out from the top of the ice palace like a snow-capped mountain. Even Xiaoyan felt his scalp tingle. Btth. 1,000 Zhong avalanche of this level is aggressive. If not for the protection of holy flame and other powers, I'm afraid that even Xiaoyan would have to be buried here. Xiaoyan turned into a furnace of flames, continuously refining the roaring avalanches, and it was only after a long time that the pressure was greatly reduced. However, what is extremely strange is that the ice palace below is facing such a terrifying avalanche, without any tremors. It seems that no matter how terrifying the attack is, it is as powerless as an ant under the mysterious fog. Xiaoyan, stop that girl. The phoenix stone is on her. There was a cold snort from the five-legged golden crow. Zaidu and Bingfeng started a battle in the world of ice and snow, but in the world of ice and snow above, there was a black shadow strung out like a ghost, running towards the ice palace in front of Xiaoyan. Go! Where to run? Xiaoyan made a decisive decision, frowned and held his breath. At the same time, he exerted all his strength to the limit and directly chased the girl who fled to the ice palace. The ice phoenix is infinitely powerful, but with the blessing of the five-legged golden crow and the holy flame, I am afraid that it will be defeated in the near future. What I have to do now is to capture this girl. Who are you? Why did you come to the world of ice and snow? You are not welcome here. Before the snow maiden disappeared from Xiaoyan's line of sight, strange inscriptions flickered on the edge of the ice palace, and the place was imprisoned in an instant, and she couldn't help frowning and said coldly, "We're here to find the phoenix stone." Seeing that this guy finally calmed down, Xiaoyan hurriedly said, "Damn." The snow maiden ignored Xiaoyan. From her point of view, the person looking for the phoenix stone was no less than the person looking for death. But the next moment, feeling such astonishing fluctuations on the edge of the ice palace, Qingling's eyes turned his head with some remorse, and his eyes fell on the light and shadow of the formation slowly entrenched on Xiaoyan's palm. This formation is naturally the half-finished all-heaven demon formation displayed by Xiaoyan. Although its nature is extremely useful for foreign evil races, it can also be used to suppress some strong human beings. 350,000 array patterns. Xiaoyan's chest rose and fell violently. Obviously, in order to prevent the girl from escaping, he directly expended enormous mental power to activate the full power of the core inscription. The reason why the pattern was not used in the Ice and Fire Underground Palace was because the consumption of the pattern was too great, and it took a lot of time to recover. Breath of the Ice Phoenix. The Snow Maiden left Bingfeng, her whole body was filled with a sense of weakness, and a rare morbid state was revealed on her face, and there seemed to be some connection between the two. The slender jade hand raised, and suddenly a full-length ice phoenix breathed towards the edge of the ice palace, and the ice phoenix contained a very special white mist, the power of their crazy erosion. However, the power of this all-heaven demon array is not comparable to the reincarnation level strength. The two are intertwined, and they are evenly matched in the void, so it seems to be deadlocked here. Excuse me. His heart moved at will, and Xiaoyan instantly moved to the side of the Snow Maiden. He just stretched out his hands and tapped directly on the girl's chest, binding her figure firmly. Despicable guy. For a while, the entire ice palace became extremely quiet, but the girl's eyes were full of hostility towards herself. Go back first. The power of the soul and the holy flames wrapped around the girl together. Xiao Yan did not dare to stay too long, and left the ice palace with the girl. Since Zuner is carrying the reincarnation seal, and Zuner is here to guide her, she should go back and make plans. After a while, Brother Xiao Yan, are you all right? In the world of ice and snow, there is a special sense of holy flame, but there will be no problems such as loss of direction. Looking at the figures moving in the blizzard, Zuner hurriedly asked. Fine. Xiao Yan's figure fell, and the mourner girl appeared safely in their sight. Is this the so-called mourner? Zuner and Feng Qian looked at the girl with snow-like muscles in front of them at the same time, and couldn't help being surprised. Whoa! In an instant, the three women did not show any traces, but the bodies of the mysterious girl and Zuner just suddenly underwent extremely strong changes. Quote. Feng Qian also noticed something, and hurriedly wanted to protect Zuner, but was stopped by Xiao Yan. Just like this, the entire small space protected by the immortal golden body was stalemate for a few minutes. Big sister, can you stop the snowstorm here first? The cold force here is too tyrannical, and we can't survive for long. Feeling such hot fluctuations in the seal of samsara, Zuner also spoke intentionally or unintentionally, as if she was guided by the power of the holy flame inside. Yep, the girl is as delicate as Zuner, but the extremely soft power emanating from her body nodded slightly. At that time, the girl gently picked up a handful of snowflakes that fell on the ground, put it on the edge of the jade mouth, and the ice patterns on her skin actually disappeared into the snowflakes under everyone's attention. Hoo-hoo! The girl blew lightly at the snowflakes. In the boundless world of ice and snow, time seemed to have stopped, and then the place returned to quiet. The snowflakes stopped falling. Except for the thick white snow on the ground, the world seemed to be dead, and the temperature had risen a lot, and the crisis had just come into contact. Xiao Yan's face was a little shocked. How tyrannical the power in this girl's body is. It's just a reincarnation level strength, but his identity as a mourner is probably comparable to the power of the ice attribute in the Great Thousand World. Now, can you tell us your story? Zuner vaguely sensed the many secrets hidden in the girl's body, and then looked at the girl who bowed her head in front of her. My name is Bingxueyao. Yes, it's Senior 9 Profound Fire Masters. The girl seemed a little timid in her heart, but she quickly calmed down. The next moment, she suddenly raised her head, her clear eyes only staring at the hot golden lines on Zuner's eyebrows. For her, this kind of fluctuation is a long-lost feeling. Please remember the first domain name of this book. Mobile version update fastest URL. Continuing from the previous episode 2293. It's from the 9 Profound Fire Lord. Countless questions flickered in Xiao Yan and Feng Qian's heart, but they did not disturb the conversation between Zuner and Bingxueyao. The two of them, one is a mourner who masters the unique ice attribute power of heaven and earth, and the other is a reincarnator. Both of them are extremely powerful, and now there are some forces in their bodies that are slowly blending. I am his disciple. After blinking, Bingxueyao was relieved, and after a long sigh of relief, her pale cheeks suddenly laughed. That kind of smile is extraordinarily warm and healing. Even if a dying person sees it, he will be instantly redeemed by him, and his body and mind will be liberated. Call them all back. Zuner frowned. Obviously the information in this sentence was too huge. In my memory, Senior Juzan Huo Master has never accepted a disciple. At least his own insights from the Seal of Reincarnation have never been mentioned, and now there is a guy who claims to be a disciple of Juzan Huo Master. This is too much coincidence. Yep, Bingxueyao responded coldly. Zuner's artifact bracelets surged into golden beams of light, which shot up directly from the snowy ground. Bingxueyao raised her hand at the same time, and then countless ancient ice patterns turned into snowflakes and rose. The two energy beams merged into the sky of the ice and snow world at the same time, which is particularly conspicuous. Boom! After a while, two incomparably huge figures of giant beasts entwined back along the beam of light. Obviously, in the battle just now, the two guys fought so hard. Breakthrough. Bingfeng's huge wings kept shaking, and she went directly to Bingxueyao's side to protect her. She looked at Xiao Yan and the others with hostility in her eyes. Once Bingxueyao gave any instructions, it would not hesitate to wave the animation Sky Bingxue to launch an attack. Zhaofeng. Bingxueyao's hands were soft on Bingfeng's white feathers, and she whispered some affectionate words, and the latter suddenly became quiet. The overall appearance of the Bingfeng is the same as that of the phoenix, but this Bingfeng is full of extreme cold oppression, but the bloodline and coercion are indeed weaker than the phoenix. I was born in this world of ice and snow. At first, I couldn't control the power of ice in my body, so under my destruction, this place has completely turned into a bone-chilling world of ice and snow. When he was on the verge of death, he was rescued by the seniors of Zhuzhan Huo Master, and then he managed to control the power of the mourners with their help. Bingxueyao tried her best to recall the scene that happened a long time ago, and then she stared at the reincarnation mark between Zunar's eyebrows with great respect. But the strength of this ice phoenix is already comparable to that of some double reincarnation rank. In addition to the increase in your mourner's ice attribute power, it is also enough for triple reincarnation. Xiao Yan did not doubt what Bingxueyao said, but looked at the quiet Bingfeng behind him and hesitated. This ice phoenix should be one of the guardians of the phoenix family, right? Hearing Bingxueyao say so, the five-legged golden crow hurriedly stood up and looked at Bingfeng in a quiet state with a vague expression. This ice phoenix was given to me by a senior of the phoenix family. When Senior Zhuzhan Huo Lord suppressed the power of the mourners in my body before, there was a woman from the Phoenix clan by my side. That woman's power was so tyrannical, even compared to Senior Zhuzhan Huo Master, it was not too much. Bingxueyao is making a sound. Quote. She was dumbfounded for a while. It seemed that Bingxueyao's words were extremely shocking. Let's go. I know your purpose, but you encountered some difficulties. Go to the Ice Palace first. After speaking, everyone rushed towards the Ice Palace in a mighty manner. The Ice Palace is majestic, with bursts of white cold mist spreading, exuding a wave of extreme coldness. Btth2 just came to the periphery of the Ice Palace. Bingxueyao twisted her hands, the ice pattern on her skin jumped, and under everyone's attention, it turned into a strand of blue silk and injected into the edge of the Ice Palace. The power of the mourners is indescribable and terrifying. Boom! In an instant, the ice gate of the Ice Palace slowly opened, and an ancient aura that had been covered in dust for countless years slowly diffused out of the Ice Palace. Go! They looked at each other and entered the Ice Palace directly. The Ice Palace is extremely large, probably within a kilometer range, and there are many wonderful ice sculptures inside, including humans, exotic animals, ice beds, and more. But the most striking thing is an ice coffin deep in the Ice Palace. The whole body of the ice coffin is snow white, and it is a rectangular strip about 3 meters in size. This groove seems to be the size of the Phoenix Stone? The keen soul power and amazing eyesight made Xiao Yan see through it at a glance. This ice coffin was left by the two seniors. According to them, this is the entrance to the Phoenix family. However, I have tried several times over the years, but I have not been able to enter the Phoenix clan. It seems that the channel is locked. Bingxueyao was blunt, and she couldn't help shaking her head after speaking. It's actually an ice coffin? At this moment, Feng Qian, who had been silent all the time, suddenly laughed. The thing you wear, called the Phoenix Stone, is the most important thing to enter the Phoenix family. With the precise positioning of this ice coffin, we can directly enter the core of the Phoenix family. This saves a lot of trouble. After the blink of an eye, Feng Qin opened her mouth in a very excited manner. Phoenix Stone? This thing was given to me by the woman who accompanied the Senior Zhuzhan Huo Master. She once instructed me to protect this stone well, and someone will come to ask for it in the future. But as you said, if this stone is the most important thing to enter the Phoenix clan, why have I tried so many times, but I can't break it? Bingxueyao looked at Feng Qian with a puzzled expression. That's because the method you used is wrong. The Phoenix Stone naturally needs a specific method of use. Feng Qian laughed. Let's do it. Solve the Phoenix family as soon as possible. Xiao Yan said in a deep voice. Obviously, at this stage, there is no need to waste time. I am with you. Bingfeng is related to the Phoenix family, and I am grateful for the kindness of their two seniors. Bingxueyao took off the pendant and handed it to Feng Qian's palm, looking at her with a complicated expression. Yep, get back a little bit. Phoenix nodded and gently held the Phoenix Stone. Btth2. With a sound, Feng Qian's fingers were torn apart, and a drop of rather bright red blood fell on the phoenix stone, and there was an extremely dim multicolored flow in it. Boom! The colorful blood just dripped on the phoenix stone, and inside the phoenix stone, which had always been quiet, the gorgeous colors began to churn. The entire ice palace was like a volcano, an endless majestic aura erupted from it. Squeak! Under the intense pressure, he placed the phoenix stone on the groove of the ice coffin, and the colorful streamer filled the air. Suddenly, the only closed ice coffin actually slowly opened the curtain. Go! Can't help but say that the huge wings of the ice phoenix sheltered everyone, and everyone was instantly swallowed by the colorful streamer, and the entire ice palace fell into silence. Please remember the first domain name of this book. Mobile version update fastest URL. Continuing from the previous episode 2294. The Secret of the Phoenix Family. Senior Ju Zan Huo Master. The dark passage is airtight, and countless powers seem to be insignificant here. Even the terrifying power of space is constantly suppressing everyone. At this time, waves of worry surfaced on Karu's face. Don't worry, I'm here. Xiao Yan continued to comfort Zuner, and naturally knew the worry in the latter's heart. After all, this kind of thing involved too much. It has been a long time since the Phoenix Stone was used in the Ice Palace to tear the void into this dark space, but this passage is obviously connected to some strange places, and the whole space seems unusually monotonous, even a trace of space-time wind surging. If you are not careful, you will be involved in it, and your body and spirit will be destroyed. In this kind of place, even a reincarnation expert who is proficient in the power of space can feel extremely intense pressure. Fortunately, it has the protection of the power of the Phoenix Stone, so although the road is difficult, it is still possible to travel. Peefed! With a sound, everyone seemed to have penetrated some kind of extremely ancient energy shackles. Immediately, the space around them was no longer dim, but suddenly became brighter. At that time, an ancient aura slowly spread from a distance, that ancient aura. It is as vast as the ancient creatures at the beginning of the world. Because of this, the road behind was unobstructed along the way, and it was easy to break through the shackles of the passage and enter an extremely strange area. The dazzling light was dazzling, and then everyone opened their mouths in astonishment. The exit of the passage is a flat ground, and in front of them is not the home of the legendary giants of the world, the Phoenix Clan. This is clearly a world wrapped and sealed by countless fiery red crystal blocks. The towering trees and woodlands tower over the clouds, and the cliffs outline the terrain of the entire plain to be extremely rugged, but in this area, the most numerous are the plane trees. At this time, in this world, layers of fiery red crystals are all over the place, sealing up this world, as old as time has stopped for countless years. Standing at the entrance of the passage, stepping out slowly, standing in this strange world, the power in the body hummed, sending out a kind of fear from the bottom of my heart. Looking up, above these strange worlds lined with plains and mountains, there is a huge and boundless island with a strangely suspended sky. When the gaze was drawn, an extremely strong oppression spread from the island. What the asterisk is going on here? At this moment, the bodies of the five-legged golden crow and Bingfeng trembled slightly, looking at the huge world and the island in the sky in front of them. The shock on their cheeks was incomparable. With their strength, it is easy to scan the situation to know the exact situation here, but now it seems that there is not a trace of anger about the strong Phoenix family here. This world, like a dead void, is too quiet. The sensing of the Phoenix family's breath in their bodies instantly failed. This is indeed the hometown of the Phoenix family. After a long time, Zuner and Fengchen looked at each other, their eyes kept on the towering ley lines around them, surrounded by plane trees, and then said in unison, "This is Phoenix Township, the regional gathering place of the Phoenix family, and the island above the sky is the core area of the Phoenix family. However, in my memory, Phoenix Island is not so easy to step into." Bingxueyao also remembered something under the guidance of Bingfeng, looked at the dead island in the sky, and said coldly, "Have you been here before?" Xiao Yan asked in surprise. "I don't know." In response, Bingxueyao could only shake her head, because she didn't even know her life and memory. Whether he is an ice elf, a descendant of humans, or a descendant of the Phoenix. All the power of space and the power of flight are bound. After a while, Phoenix's beautiful eyes were full of surprise. Even with her experience, this scene was unprecedented. The Phoenix Clan has cut off all entrances to the Phoenix Clan, so even the vassal races of the Phoenix Clan know very little information about the Phoenix Clan. Could it be that the Phoenix family was exterminated? Suddenly, the five-legged golden crow combined with some of the deeds in front of the 9 profound Fire Lord, and a bold idea popped into his mind. It shouldn't be possible. The forces capable of destroying the entire Phoenix Clan, the entire Great Thousand Worlds, are absolutely impossible unless the supreme leaders of their respective 7 realms centers lead the powerhouses of their respective realms to take action together. And if you do this, it's just a self-defeating approach. Xiao Yan shook his head, because his keen sense of smell told him that there were countless violent energy gatherings around the Sky Island hanging on the Fenghuang Township plain in front of him. With that level of energy, it would be useless to gather the power of all of them. If you want to get into it, you need other ways. But what happened to the Phoenix family? The huge Phoenix Clan's territory has actually become sealed by countless crystal blocks? Among these crystal blocks that exist on the ground, there is actually a fiery red firefox? Everyone began to walk around, trying to find a clue to crack the secret of the Phoenix family. See, Xiao Yan had just discovered something. The palm of his hand was wrapped in a glass-colored holy flame, lightly touching the crystal block. What a terrifying temperature! When the palm touched the crystal block, a burning sensation deep into the soul spread from the arm, but at this time, the red crystal block with the length of the arm actually melted slowly under the entanglement of Xiao Yan's glass-colored flame, revealing there was a very faint fiery red flame in it. Wong buzzing, the fiery red flame had just broken away from the crystal block, and was full of spirituality like an elf, continuously attacking the glass-colored flame on Xiao Yan's palm, with a very greedy aura. You mean, it wants to devour you? Naturally not to be outdone, the glazed holy flame imprisoned the faint flame and then sent a message to Xiao Yan. Boom! At the same time, in the Phoenix Township area, an intense energy ripple spread from the deep ground, and violent shock waves swept out one after another. The overwhelming violent energy spread, and the whole world was filled with a sense of laxity. Everyone only felt that the reincarnation in the body was instantly imprisoned. The feather of the ice phoenix. Holy flame. Bingfeng and the 5-legged golden crow raised their arms at the same time, and the pure white ice attribute energy and golden flame fell off their bodies, and then tightly enveloped Xiao Yan and the others. Btth. Even if it is sheltered by the power of the 2 powerhouses, that violent power makes everyone uneasy. Such a majestic power is more terrifying than any triple reincarnation order. Brother Xiao Yan, there is a clue. A few minutes later, after the violent energy ripples weakened a little, the reincarnation mark at the center of Zunar's eyebrows began to burn slowly, and the golden flame wrapped around her body, making her look sacred, and then Zunar looked at the Phoenix Township plain with beautiful eyes. In the depths, there seems to be an ancient creature that was not sealed by these fiery red crystal blocks. The violent energy that attacked them also spread from the depths of Zunar's gaze. Please remember the first domain name of this book. Mobile version update fastest URL.